Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is FixerMed. Welcome back to my ECG Skills Builder Workshop, where I'll be covering all the fundamental knowledge and skills you'll need to read and interpret an electrocardiogram graph. This will be part 3 of my multi-part video series, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on today's content. So I'd like to open up talking about leads and their associated electrical activity. Leads play a crucial role in providing specific perspectives of the heart's electrical activity. When electrical current flows towards the positive electrode, it generates an upward deflection in the waveform, indicating a positive deflection. Conversely, when the current moves away from the positive pole, it leads to a downward deflection, representing a negative deflection. In instances where there's no electrical activity, the waveform remains flat, representing an isoelectric deflection. Moving on. Next, I'd like to discuss the standard 12-lead ECG. The standard 12-lead ECG is a fundamental diagnostic tool in cardiology. It comprises of limb leads 1, 2, 3, AVR, AVL, and AVF, while also comprising of precordial leads, known as chest leads, which are V1 to V6. Limb leads encompass both bipolar and unipolar planes, offering insights into electrical activity from different angles. Precordial leads, positioned across the chest from the heart's center to various anatomical landmarks, provide specific perspectives of cardiac electrical behavior. I have a visual representation of the 12 standard leads on the picture to the right. We'll be going into more detail about this when we are interpreting the graphs. So just keep this in the back of your mind for what lead 1, 2, 3, AVR, AVL, AVF, V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6 will look like on an electrocardiogram. Moving on. Next, let's talk about some additional leads and insights. Single lead ECGs, often referred to as rhythm strips, offer continuous information about the heart's electrical activity, commonly using just 3 bipolar leads, 1, 2, and 3, and modified versions such as MCL1 and MCL6. Augmented unipolar leads, AVR, AVL, AVF, measure electrical potential between one limb electrode and the center of the heart, which is neutral, providing additional insights into cardiac function. Precordial leads, V1 to V6, are strategically positioned at specific anatomical locations on the chest, allowing for different perspectives of the heart's electrical activity and aiding in the comprehensive assessment of cardiac health. Moving on. Electrodes placement and heart correspondence. Leads 1, 2, and AVL correspond to the lateral surface of the heart. Leads 3 and AVF are positioned to record electrical activity from the inferior surface of the heart. AVR electrode placement focuses on capturing signals from the right atrium. The V1 and V2 leads are situated to detect electrical activity primarily from the right ventricle. V3 and V4 leads are positioned to record signals from the septum and the anterior left ventricle. Leads V5 and V6 are strategically placed to capture electrical activity from the anterior and lateral aspects of the left ventricle. This is important information to know. I'd recommend memorizing it, repeating it, do whatever you had to do to make it stick to your head, since it is very important information. A lot of exams like the USMLE, NCLEX, etc. will use this type of information to test and gauge your knowledge. So just keep that in mind while moving forward. Let's go ahead and take a look at some recall-based questions. I like doing these at the end so you guys can actually get some value out of these videos and actively recall the information we've covered. So, which statement accurately describes the role of leads in an electrocardiogram? All right, I think I gave you guys enough time there. If you need more time, please feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, moving on now. Leads in an electrocardiogram provide specific views of the heart's electrical activity, allowing clinicians to assess various aspects of cardiac function such as rhythm, conduction abnormalities, and ischemia. Each lead records the electrical signals generated by the heart from different positions on the body, contributing to a comprehensive understanding of cardiac health. Therefore, the correct answer is C. Leads offer specific perspectives of the heart's electrical activity. Let's go ahead and see why the other answer choices are incorrect. Leads do not provide a general overview of cardiac anatomy. They specifically record electrical activity. Leads do not measure blood pressure variations during cardiac cycles. They record electrical signals. While leads can detect certain structural abnormalities indirectly through changes in electrical activity, their primary role is in recording electrical signals. Leads do not monitor respiratory function during ECG recordings. They focus solely on cardiac electrical activity. So, main takeaway, leads, cardiac electrical activity. They don't focus on anatomy. They don't focus on respiratory function. They don't measure blood pressure. So just keep that in mind. Moving on to the next question. Which component of an ECG waveform indicates absence of electrical activity? All right, I think I gave you guys enough time there. If you need more time, please feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, moving on now. An isoelectric deflection represents a flat line on the ECG waveform indicating the absence of electrical activity. This occurs when the electrical signals recorded by the leads are balanced and cancel each other out, resulting in a neutral or baseline reading. Therefore, correct answer is C, isoelectric deflection. Let's go ahead and see why the other answer choices are incorrect. Positive deflection indicates electrical activity moving towards the positive electrode. Negative deflection indicates electrical activity moving away from the positive electrode. An upright T wave represents ventricular repolarization. P wave inversion may indicate atrial depolarization abnormalities, but does not signify absence of electrical activity. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next question. Which lead corresponds to electrical potential measurement between the left shoulder and the center of the heart in an ECG? Pretty first order question, so if you need more time, please feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, moving on now. Lead AVL measures electrical potential between the left shoulder and the center of the heart. It provides a specific perspective in cardiac electrical activity from this angle, contributing to a comprehensive assessment of heart health. Therefore, the correct answer is E, lead AVL. Let's go ahead and see why the other answer choices are incorrect. Lead 1 measures electrical potential between the right and left arms. Lead 2 measures electrical potential between the right arm and left leg. Lead 3 measures electrical potential between the left arm and left leg. Lead AVR measures electrical potential between the right shoulder and the center of the heart. Now, guys, for this type of content, I just recommend memorizing it and doing practice problems with it. So I'll try having more practice problems made for cardiology style questions to help you guys out with ECG interpretation, clinical situations, and clinical vignettes. But for now, since we're only on part 3, you're just going to need to memorize this information, since if you have this information down right now, going on to the next step, which is interpreting the ECG step by step with the P wave, the PR intervals, etc., you will have a much easier time if you can understand what is going on with this basic science information being presented to you. So that's all I have for today, guys. If you like this type of video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, this is FixerMed signing off. Be sure to have a great day, everyone, and good luck studying. Goodbye.